evening. We are now live. My name is Nuclear Shower. We are now live from IP News Channel here at Amethyst Road on Fifth Dimensional Level. All right. Here I have with us, joining us tonight is Infinite Greatness. Infinite Greatness. She's the descendant of greatness. All right, Infinite Greatness. We are now here to really interview you and ask your views on these questions. Okay, how does that work for you today, Miss Greatness?
I'm all ready for it. Bring it on.
Oh, okay. All right. So, what is your view on how they handle this so-called crisis that we're in right now? Okay, with the overall impact that OSHA has made thus far on the crisis that we're in the world today.
Honestly, I feel that OSHA is part of the increase or the reason that we are in this crisis that we're in today because they're part of the group that's throwing the whole situation out of proportion at this point. It came to my attention that after losing the Supreme Court case, they've abandoned the whole emergency vaccine, the emergency standard, because it got thrown out. So this time they're going to take a whole different approach to try to enforce the mandate, not using that because it was thrown out. So they're going to go through a formal rulemaking process, which will require a notice and comment period from the public. And then so we could probably be looking around maybe summertime or fall, we'll be seeing another mandate come out for the whole jab and everything. Now, my thing, and this is a big thing, that if this was such a great thing, people would be standing in line for it. They, can I get two? Can I get three? And it wouldn't be that they would have to force it on you. They wouldn't even have to go back and we go all the way to the Supreme Court to have it turned down. And now they have to come and find a backdoor loop in order to create it, in order to force it on you. If it was so great, none of that would be necessary.
Wow. I really appreciate your view. Hmm. Do you have a solution, something that maybe you would like to input during this interview to
Well, I've kind of
aid?
seen and read around where we have other countries like EU, UK, and things like that. They've kind of taken the whole status of the pandemic and taken it out of an emergency status and moved it to more of an endemic status of we just live with it and let it go. No more mask mandates, no more jab mandates or anything like that. I mean, if you have it, if you have symptoms, don't come in, call off, you know, take it, with your discretion. But they're not putting their life on hold. They're not doing any lockdowns or anything like that because it's not working. This particular um, infection is just not going away. This virus is not going away, but it's not nearly as bad or as bad as some countries or some companies or some political figures try to push it to be.
You say it's not as bad?
It's not as bad as they try to push it to be. I mean, you've got, of course, people with underlying health conditions or comorbidities, because they kind of said it's the people with six or more comorbidities that are the ones that kind of fall more victim to the virus.
As
But
is any other virus, it would be the
right,
same. Okay.
yeah.
Hmm. Wow. Okay. Huh. So your solution is no mandates. Is that correct?
I'd say no mandates is good, but I mean, people should be smart if they want to practice social distancing or if they want to wear a mask, because again, people could be asymptomatic, or some people know they have it and they'll still come out in public and things like that. You want to do what you've been doing to keep yourself healthy. If you feel comfortable or safer wearing your mask or social distancing, you do what you do to keep yourself and your family safe. But it shouldn't be forced upon people.
Okay, so just no force. I get it.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. And I thank you so much for that, Greatness. Also, Greatness, if you don't mind, what is your personal opinion when it comes to the overall efficiency of that jab situation there?
Honestly, in my opinion, the jabs that they're mandating, these are all based on a 2019 virus. You've asked me, this virus has done 2 jumps and 3 flips from the version that it was before, and now it seems like it's taking a nosedive. So 2 jumps, 3 flips, and now a backflip dive, because it's gotten a lot more milder, and a backflip dive from what it was. So when you read the articles and things like that, they say you need 3 doses or 4 doses or more doses. The thing is, it's not the doses, it's not the stuff in the jab that's improving your protection. It's actually your antibodies, and you do not need the jab to increase your antibodies. You can increase your own antibodies by taking the proper vitamins, nutrients, sleep, rest, exercise, and things like that. So you do not have to depend on the jabs just to build your antibodies. So whatever other stuff and extra technology and things like that that they have in the jabs is not necessary at all. Again, the best way to determine your protection is to check your antibody levels. So you want to reach out to your doctor, have an antibody level test. And it can be any antibody level. And no matter how we got there, you can get there with the jab, with or without boosters and the jab. You can get there with natural vaccine or without any jab at all. So again, check your antibody levels. That's the best thing you can do to know where you stand and how to move forward.
Wow. So you just call your doctor and ask your doctor, what is your antibody level?
Have
Should
them
they
run
already
that
have that
test.
information?
Well, they would have to run a test, probably a blood
Okay.
test on you to determine the level. But that's the most important thing, more than give me another dose of that. I'll take another dose of that. Because what else are you getting? There's more, way more in those
Shots
jabs
for
than
everybody.
just one for you and one for you. Yeah, no. Keep it. You can take 2. Take 2. Take 1 for you and 1 for me. How about that?
Take 2 and call me in the morning.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's funny. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Greatness. Now, Greatness, I have to ask you this, Greatness. What do you feel the overall purpose is of all this?
At this point, especially with the last statement, with the antibodies being based off of a 2019 virus and things like that, or I'm sorry, with the jabs being based off of a 2019 virus, and the mandates being turned down by the Supreme Court, and they want to now find a loophole to reinforce the mandates again. And if it was so good, everybody would take it. We would have been lined up for this. Honestly, I think this is just a test of our compliance. If they can get away with it this time, just as was it Bill Gates or so that said there will be plenty more pandemics.
Oh, yeah.
This stuff is planned. And if we do not stand up, if we stop complying and they realize we are not going to comply, they will think twice before they accidentally let something leak from the lab and like, oh, well, let's try this and let the people do it and see what the people let us get away with. This is honestly a test of our compliance. This is not about our health.
Who do you think is suffering the most right now?
Honestly, I think out of everything, I think the children will suffer the most if um, governments, the politicians have their way with the mandates, and it gets to the point where it's enforced and required for the children to have the jabs. I think the children will honestly suffer the most.
Oh my goodness. And I think you're right. Wow. So, greatness. One last question before you leave us, and I really appreciate your presence here with us today. You have
Thank
so
you.
much
I'm
knowledge.
so glad to be here. Nothing like all of this amethyst rose around me.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So what do you think that or how do you feel about these what do you call different companies that's, individually trying to quote unquote mandate?
Well, when I look at these companies that are individually mandating and still mandating, in spite of the mandate being overturned, look at these companies and who they are. We've got big companies, probably heavily government funded companies, Google, still enforcing it. As a matter of fact, for those of you with the Android phones, and I know they fixed it once it was put on blast on Facebook and put on blast like in social media and things like that. If you would hold down your home button and say, Google, sing me a song, the phone would sing it would sing a jab song. They've developed this and it's good for you. Many scientists have put work into studying it and blah, blah, blah. And that would be the
Wow.
first thing it sings. Now, if you say, Google, sing me a song, it'll sing something else. But if you say, sing the jab song, it'll play the song. So the song is still there. So, I mean, we've got companies here that are getting paid from this and gotten big money from the government, I guess, that are right in line with it. And then if we look at T-Mobile, T-Mobile has workers that badge workers, if you have to badge into facilities, the non-vax workers have not been able to access those facilities since either October, November, or something like that of last year. And of course, with that 5G stuff that's out there, I think they're the leader in 5G. I'm sure that they've gotten millions of dollars from the government with that technology. So again, companies that's right there where the government is right in their pockets. So again, I'm thinking if we can find a way, I don't know, boycott or something like that. But if we keep giving these companies our money and they're taking away the freedom of their employees to choose for their health sake and keep themselves safe, we're going right along with it.
Ouch.
Yeah, compliance at its finest.
So did you mention companies? Did you mention those companies just now in regards to mandate? Did you mention the name of certain companies?
Yes, I did.
Okay, what can you repeat those?
Yeah, I
please?
mentioned like Google is one company and T-Mobile, a cell
Okay,
phone provider, was another company. Yes.
okay, okay. Wow. Whew, thank you. That's a lot. That is a lot. So you guys, you heard it here. If you're not part of the solution, you may be part of the,
Yeah.
okay. So we want to thank you so much, greatness, for your presence here. You really made a difference.
Well, thank you
You
for
got,
inviting me.
yeah. Do you have any personal notes you want to add before we,
No, again, I just want to thank you for inviting me. Remember, if it doesn't sound good, it doesn't sound right, it just doesn't sit well with you, say no. That's the best thing you can do. If it's something you see on TV that's just wild and it seems like it could be a future prediction, say no. When you watch things that you know seems wrong, you just sit and watch, you are complying with it. That is your implied consent. Most powerful word you can ever say, is no. So remember that. Exercise your no power. And that's all.
Now that's power, infinite power.
Yes.
I love it. Wow. Well, you guys, we ran out of time. I want to thank so much our beautiful and surprising, knowledgeable guests that we have here. Greatness, descendant of greatness. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for gracing us with all of this information and knowledge. And wow, thank you. And you're going to have to come and visit us again. This is not over. Okay,
Oh, I look
greatness?
forward to it. I look forward
Okay,
to it.
good. All right, you guys. This is channel IP News. Okay, so we're out.